The fog appeared suddenly, not that light haze that spreads over the fields at dawn, and not the usual night MLA. It was a dense, thick mass, as if someone deliberately poured the milk-gray brew just onto the road. She swallowed the headlights, compressed the space, and made the air heavy, as if it could be cut with a knife. Andrew drove slowly, clutching the steering wheel so that his fingers turned white. The clock on the panel showed 02:17. Great, he muttered to himself. This trip was a mistake from the beginning. Returning from a funeral at night, also on a short road through the old highway, is stupid. But Andrei did not want to stay in the city, where every corner reminded of the past, about what will never come back. The fog thickened. The radio began to crack. The sound disappeared. Only a dull rustle remained, as if someone was whispering through obstacles. Andrew turned it off and focused on the road. And then he saw a turn. He wasn't here before. Andrew knew the track. She walked straight for another 10 kilometers, until the interchange. But now on the right side, just from the fog, a narrow asphalted exit came out without signs, without markings. The road seemed old. The asphalt cracked, and the grass grew around the edges, as if no one had touched it for a long time. "No," he whispered, and it was at this moment that the main track disappeared. Not gradually. It just dissolved in the rear-view mirror, as if it had never existed. Only this Congress, fog, and silence remained in front of him. The engine was running quietly. The heart was beating so loudly that it seemed to Andrei that the whole world could hear him. He could have stopped. I could have returned. But something, not a thought, not a voice, a direction, a feeling, pulled him forward. Andrew turned the steering wheel. The fog here was different. He didn't move. I didn't lay down. He stood as if frozen in space. The headlights cut out a narrow corridor, outside of which there was nothing. No trees, no sky, no earth. The phone showed no network. The road was perfectly flat, but old. Here and there were traces of tires that broke off in the middle of the lane, as if the cars were just disappearing on the go. Andrew tried not to look at them. A few minutes later, houses appeared in the fog. His heart tightened. It was the street of his childhood. The same row of one-story houses. The same crooked fence with peeling paint. Even the lantern, with the ceiling broken, stood in the same place. It's impossible. He hasn't been here for more than 20 years. The village disappeared from the map after the accident at the factory. He was declared unfit for life. People were resettled. Houses were to be demolished. But they stood, dead. The windows were dark, covered with boards. The door is sagging. The ground around the houses was gray, without a single blade of grass, as if life here had burned to the very roots. The car was driving by itself, and then Andrew saw people. They were standing on the side of the road, immovable, pale, with empty eyes. He recognized them immediately. The neighbor is Aunt Maria, physics teacher, the guy who drowned in the river a year before the accident. They looked straight at him, and they didn't blink. "I'm sorry," whispered Andrew, not knowing who exactly. His hands were shaking. Sweat was driping down his back, even though it was cold in the cabin. One of the figures took a step forward. It was his mother. She looked like the day of her death. Dark coat. The hair is collected in a hurry. The eyes are tired. "Why did you leave?" she asked. Her voice did not sound. It appeared in the head. I couldn't stay." Andrew gasped. You promised to come back. He closed his eyes. I'm back now. No, she replied. You're back here. The car stopped. The engine is jammed. The fog approached the windows, touching the glass, as if with fingers. What kind of place is this? Whispered Andre. Mother smiled. Slowly, unnatural. This is the road of memory. The road of guilt. It appears only for those who could not let go. The figures around began to move, slowly, squeaking like old dolls. You're in, she said. Now we have to get to the end. What if I don't want to? Her eyes darkened. Then you will stay here, forever, like us. Andrew ran out of the car. The air was cold, but not real. It did not fill the lungs, but pressed from the inside. The ground under my feet was as hard as a stone. The houses around began to come alive. Shadows peeked out of the windows. Silhouettes appeared in the door. They whispered his name. Andre, why did you leave us? You could have stayed. You could have died with us. He ran. The street stretched endlessly, but eventually reached the school. The building was charred. The roof is down, but the door is open. Voices came from inside. The roll call, he whispered, feeling his heart fall somewhere. He came in. The classroom was full of children. They sat straight, looking into the void. The teacher stood at the blackboard. Andrei Kovalenko sounded. He raised his hand as he used to. Here, all heads turned to him. You're the only one who came out, the teacher said. But you didn't say goodbye. The children got up, and we went to him. He woke up at the wheel. The engine worked. The headlights illuminated the usual track. The fog slowly dissipated. The clock showed 02:17. The phone is a complete network. Andre sat motionless for a few minutes, not believing that it was all over. And then I saw something in the rear-view mirror. In the back seat, barely noticeable in the dark, sat a figure, and she said quietly, "You forgot something on that road." The light went out.